back to My Therapist Said. My name is Stephanie and I am your host. Welcome back to the show, you guys. Hello, fucker reviewer. Happy Wednesday! Oh my god, I can't believe I'm back. I feel like I was just here and I'm back again. I'm so excited about that. So today we're going to chit chat. I'm going to talk about my parents a little bit. I know, I've been talking about them a lot lately. I want to talk about Father's Day. It passed fairly recently, a couple weeks ago. And I just have like thoughts, feelings. What is all over my mic? Fluff. And then I want to chit chat 90 Day Fiancé. And then we're going to just talk about life a little bit at the end. So enjoy! Din, 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 din. We don't need that. Hi guys. Welcome back to the show. Way Bub's here. Sleepy boy. He said he's here to be a co-host, but he's a tired co-host today. And I said, that's fine, Bubs. As long as you show up, we're showing up. Do you guys ever just have to, like, unclick your jaw sometimes? I feel like a snake. I carry so much. If you're not watching me on video, I'm making a face. If you're just listening to audio, you're like, what's she talking about? Right. Totally. Am I going to get better about that? I don't know. When you just have to just, like, stretch your jaw out, and like I have TMJ, but like I feel like most of us carry so much stress in our jaw. It's one of those things, like, release your shoulders and like open your mouth as far as you can. In yoga, we call it lion's breath, which I fucking love. And it's essentially where you just like, am I about to do lion's breath on the mic? I might. Sure. So it's like you open your mouth and breathe out with your like tongue out, and you feel ridiculous, but the release in your jaw feels so fucking good. Okay, anyway, hi guys, welcome back to the show. Hi, welcome to My Therapist Said. My name is Stephanie and I am your motherfucking host. Happy Wednesday. We are here, we are alive, and our jaws are unclenched, I hope, and our shoulders relaxed, I hope. Thank you. Okay, so today I'm feeling, honestly, I feel really good today. Why? I don't know. I listened to my episode from this morning, and usually I don't listen to my episodes prior to recording because then I worry it's going to like tangle up my circus thoughts, you know? Like I'm worried like, oh, I'm going to start like, I mean, honestly, because what's going on here, Stephanie? Well, why don't you? Well, when I think about like when I read my morning pages and I'm giving sad girl vibes, sometimes I'm like, it impacts me in my current. So even if I'm like doing well, but then I read a sad girl journal, then I'm like, am I doing bad? Like, am I sad girl again? And I have a hard time like understanding how I feel in the present or how I felt in the past. And part of me feels like if I listen to my podcast in the morning, is this episode all about me? Is this entire podcast about this girl? Yeah, you guys, it is. I know, I hear what you're thinking. I totally get why it's click out 1 star. I understand, because you're like, what the fuck is this? Totally. I wonder the same thing. So when I'm listening back to my own episodes, because I'm obsessed with myself, I worry that I'll start becoming that version of me. And what I've realized, and I talked about this on the episode I listened to this morning, is like the shifts that happen in me are so they feel small, but they're also so big. Like some days I'm doing so bad, the next day I'm doing so good. And I worry if I listen to so bad Stephanie on a so good Stephanie day, will I accidentally turn bad again? What's crazy though is like, it doesn't work the other way around. Like if I'm having a really bad day and then I read, well, sometimes, but not really. I read like a good day entry. Do I feel better? Sometimes. So anyway, I'm just like, I don't try not to listen to my podcast episodes back. Like once they're edited and they're out into the ether, what's the ether? I don't know what that is. I just like how it sounds. And then it's out into the abyss. And then I just know it's going to do what it does as art does. I just really try to accept that. Like I was listening to Giggly Squad the other day and Hannah Berner's special came out and Paige was like, Hannah, did you watch your special on Hulu? Hannah was like, absolutely not. It's already edited, done, and it's out there on Hulu. I don't want to watch it back because what if I have an edit? I was like, that's so me. She's like, it's on Hulu and I have an edit. What do you do now? You can't do anything about that. Like, what if her hair looks funny in one shot? She has an edit. You can. It's on Hulu. So I'm kind of a perfectionist in that as well. So I really let my episodes just ride. Just let them ride, let it go. But why did I listen to mine this morning? I mean, first of all, I wanted to double check that it posted, because when you have OCD, you're convinced that everything that you think is true is not true. That's like a symptom of my mental illness. So I'm convinced that every episode that I posted, I didn't actually post it, you know? And then so sometimes I have to just like check to make sure. And I checked to make sure this morning at 4:45 in the godforsaken morning, and I let it play, which is also shocking because I do not want to hear my voice that early in the morning. I'm like, shut up. Dun, 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 dun. Like, it's happening in real time. I can't listen to you be doing that on a mic, Stephanie. You are yourself. So, but this morning I kind of let it roll, and I was like, wait, stop. No, I'm not bragging. I'm just like, you're kind of, are you getting the hang of this? Like, you're not, Stephanie. Like, I let it play. I literally just like had it playing in my car as I drove to yoga. I went to yoga. I was a moderate bad bitch, I'll say. Like, my friend was like, you should come up in the front. And I was like, I'm not a bad bitch today. Like, it's a very specific feeling I have to feel prior to in order to take that front slot, because if I end up embarrassing myself in child's pose for 45 minutes and then God forbid I cry, we're not going to do that in the front row. No. I'm willing to be humiliated, but not humiliated in the front. Like, I want to be humiliated row 2. I'm never really row 3, but I should be. You know, with how I be acting with my circus thoughts, I should be the person in row 3. But, and no shade to those in row 3. Honestly, you just have a better relationship with your ego than I do. You know, the people that are like, oh, I know my limits. Totally, that's what it is. I'm aware of my limits, and I don't give a fuck about them, you know, because I'm like, I want to be this version of myself, even though my body's like, I'm so tired. We should really be by the door. And I'm like, what's that? Didn't hear anything from Samantha. You're fucking going in the front. And then that push pull with myself where I knew it was a bad idea, yet I did it anyway. That ego, that push, that being like, you've been coming for so long, you should be a front bad bitch right now. But on the days that I'm like, I didn't sleep good, and then I'm like, I want to be a front bad bitch, that's what usually leads me to crying. And the whole experience would be a lot easier if I would just swallow my ego and accept that maybe by the door is a good move for you today. So today I met myself in the middle, and I went in the middle, and I was okay. Do I have anything to share? Some classes are just like not the most memorable. They're kind of just like, they are what they are. I had a really fun class yesterday. I go to a sculpt class on Tuesdays and Thursdays are hell. I don't even want to get into it. I'm like considering not even going tomorrow because I like don't even know if I'm mentally strong enough to go. But Tuesdays are really fun, where they're like super like fast. Like, have you ever taken a spin class and they make you do all that like choreo like moves? That's kind of how this sculpt class is, because this is so boring for everyone listening. Great. I'm one of the most boring podcasts in the world. I am. I have a question, you guys. Is there a space for a podcast like this? I was like having this thought the other day, because when I started, my therapist said, I was like, I'll have guests. And then very quickly I realized that the admin of getting guests on the show is something that I'm not well equipped to do emotionally. Like, I don't like emails. I don't like to I hate a calendar. Like, I like my own organization for sure, but I'm not trying to like work with anybody else. Like, I actually don't have the capacity to do that. And I've had a couple guests, and I literally loved my guest episodes so fucking much. I'm so proud of myself for doing them. I had so much fun while I was there. My guests were incredible. If you want to listen back, I have a couple guest episodes, and they're so fucking good. I did like once a month for a little while there. And, but lately I've just been feeling like that's a lot of admin. And lately I've been like kind of loving this like one-sided therapeutic experience I'm having with myself through this podcast. So what I'm wondering is, what are you guys getting from it? And do we enjoy this? Like, if you don't feel any pressure, but like anybody leaving a comment would be nice. Or DM me on Instagram. I would love that. When I get DMs on Instagram about the podcast, I'm like, okay, so people do listen. And like, I know people listen, but then I'm like, to what? Like, Giggly Squad, 2 hosts, right? Chit chat. It's a conversation podcast. Love that. That's their little niche. That's their space. And then it was like Carly Aquilino, another one of my favorite podcasters. Why are we talking about this? This is what I'm thinking about. And Carly, she like reads questions of the week from people that they write in, right? Call Her Daddy also started with questions of the week, and they had a co-host. There's like a lot going on external. It's not just like an internal experience. For me, I feel like I don't really fit into either one of those molds, and I feel like I can just really do this by myself. But is there a space for just a solo podcaster that just talks about their life every week? Is that something that people do? Because I don't listen to any podcasts like mine, and it does make me feel like I'm losing my mind. Totally. I'm like, so you're just creating this like digital journal of what you go through on the daily? And the answer to that is yes. Is it interesting, people? I don't know about that. I don't know, but I love it. But I'm just like, am I just obsessed with myself lately? Maybe, probably. Anyway, we're laying the plane, Stephanie. Where's the train? Put it on the motherfucker. It was recently Father's Day, and I was sad about it. I miss my dad so much, you guys. 10 years is so long to go without a dad. And I've really accepted it because it happened to me so long ago. It feels like that it's like Father's Day has not been Father's Day since I was 23, you know? Probably 22, right? Because he died when I was 23. Like, and that's, no, 23 because he died in October. Like, it's just a long time, and I'm 34. Like, my life just feels so different, but it just does feel sad. And then I remember, like, what used to make me feel really sad about, like, Father's Day and stuff is when I was, like, scrolling, you know, and everyone has, like, their dads. And I don't do that anymore. I don't scroll. So that doesn't really impact me like that, but I know there's dads out there, you know, and then I get upset because I'm like, not you though, you know, just one more thing that I don't connect with is really what it feels like just another thing. Add it to the fucking gender reveal, baby shower, bachelorette parties. Add it to the fucking bucket of the things that Stephanie doesn't get to celebrate or do like everybody else because her life, I don't know why, she just picked a different path. She just decided to be a solo podcaster that just only talks about what? Herself? Like, I'm like, is there a space for this podcast? And then I'm like, is there a space for me? In the world of tradition, is there a space for me? Because I don't feel like I fit into any of this, you guys. Any of this. And then, I mean, one thing I do love about it is like when other people have lost their parents, there's that level of connection that does make me feel so much less alone. Like, I mean, I've been making jokes like Dead Parent Club, you know, Dead Dad Club. Like, I've been making little jokes with my little friends about that, the ones who have lost parents and stuff. So it's like, I'm not totally alone in it, but it's a very small number of people that I can make those jokes with. The masses are on the other side of this, where everyone talks about what'd you guys do for Father's Day, you know? And I just felt sad that day. I actually hadn't been impacted by Father's Day in like quite some time, but this one felt worse, harder. And then I also feel like I have this weird feeling of like, you're talking so much around your dad. Like, I wonder how he would feel, you know, about the fact that you're like, you told the world that he like abused you. And it's like, yeah, because he did. But then the other side of me is like, what would he think about the fact that I'm talking about that? But then isn't that up to me? You know, and I try to do it with balance always. He was a badass dad. He did such a good job in so many dad ways. Like, he just did. He was so supportive and showed me so much love. And also, he didn't support me in so many other ways and also showed me so much hurt, you know? So it's like two things can be true. But Father's Day was a weird feeling where I was just like, I started feeling kind of bad, like guilty. Especially, I mean, I feel the same way about my mom too. Like, I talked the last episode around just like how she struggled with alcoholism, and then I did too, but she never told anybody that. So then what? I took that information and I told it to the world? Like, how would she feel, you know? But then at the end of the day, what I try to land on is like, if you're doing it, what's your intention, you know, with sharing it? It's so I can heal myself and also heal other people through my voice, because other people I know have similar experiences to me in my relationship with my parents. I know I'm not an isolated incident. I be acting like an isolated incident. I be showing up in the world like an isolated incident. Stephanie does this. Stephanie does that. Stephanie doesn't do this. Stephanie doesn't do that. Like, I really be acting like that in the world. I know that. I know that I don't fit into the traditional norm of a lot of things. I know that. I know that. I'm clocked in. I'm with you, you know? But then I'm just like, I have to just accept that. But I do feel kind of weird and a little bad. Like, damn, my mom didn't say shit about it, but I was like, Mom, I'm telling everybody. I'm going to school, I'm telling everybody. Jesus Christ. And then I'm like, maybe that's just like the generational trauma though, and this like post-share shame, you know? Because I'm really not sharing it to tell you guys that she struggled with alcohol. I'm sharing it to say I struggle with substances and have my whole life, and I think part of it is genetic, you know? So, but I do wonder, like, would she be mad? Honestly, if she was still alive, she might be mad. If she was still alive, she might be mad. Because then everybody would know, you know? How would she react? This is such an interesting question for me. I honestly can't even answer this. I don't know. I mean, I know she was such a private person. I know that now I'm feeling more bad. I know that but I also just feel like she would never want to take from my voice, because she would have heard all the prior expression of how much my voice was stifled by my parents growing up. Because the podcast is so healing for me, I think she wouldn't want to get in the way of my voice anymore. Like, I think she would really understand with how I express myself on the podcast, and I talk so openly around how this is a healing journey for me. And I don't think my mom would ever want to take from that. So this is going to sound so dark. Stephanie, don't say this. It's so funny, though. Like, I feel like I think she'd be like, well, if you're going to share it, at least I'm dead. No. It's not funny. It's not funny. Not funny. It's not. Stephanie, it's not funny. It's not funny. That's not funny. She's like, I guess now's the time. Like, if you're going to do it, now's the time, Steph. Like, she doesn't really have to deal with the impact. You know what I mean? Like, stop, Stephanie. That is not funny. Oh my God, my cheeks hurt. It's kind of just like, let her cook, you know? Like, let her fucking cook. Let her riff. Like, if this is healing to her, okay, you know? Because then I put myself in her position, and I'm like, if I was dead, I wouldn't care. Stephanie, stop. You have to stop. You have to stop. Stop. Stephanie, stop. If I was dead, I wouldn't care. Oh my God, you guys, that's so funny. Woo! That was a wild ride. But I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't. It's all for a greater story. So anyway, I think about the same thing with my dad. And I feel like my dad, would he like that I put him on blast and be like, you definitely abused me in our childhood? I mean, I don't think he would love it. But in my defense, I didn't love it either, Dad, you know? And again, like, he doesn't have to deal with the consequences of me talking about it. I don't know that he would love that people know this about him, you know? Like, I don't think parents want to be called out for their behaviors, but I also think that it can be so incredibly healing, not even called out. I'm really just like, my intention is not to call anyone out. My intention is so much more just to be like, hey, here's my experience and this is what happened to me. And like, because my parents are dead, I do kind of have this like very niche landscape when it comes to like, I can talk about this stuff openly, you know, like they're not here to hear it. They're not here to tell me that didn't happen. They're not here to tell me, I don't want you to be putting on this on the podcast. They're not here to tell me any of that. They're not here to tell me anything. They're really lately been quiet. Anything from my mom? Dad? Quiet. So we continue. Emma got me the cutest for my mom's birthday, which was in June, she got me the cutest fucking little plant. It's called a sensitive fern, I think. And when you touch the leaves, it like curls up on itself. And it's like the cutest little fucking plant. And it just has been bringing me so much joy because I realized that like all of June was like sad, you know, because my mom's birthday was in June. And then what? Father's Day, the weekend after, bitch. The weekend after, bitch. Thank you. Like, if I didn't have a podcast, who would I tell this silly goose business to? Who would I be like, oh, my mom's birthday last Sunday. The next Sunday after that, Father's Day. What? Like, who put, right? Would I want a breathing room between weekends? Would love that. Could you guys just separate the two because Stephanie Kroll doesn't have any parents? It'd be really nice if you guys could just not put Father's Day right next to my mom's freaking birthday. But the universe is like this. We don't care. Put it on the mic, Stephanie. Deal with it, Stephanie. Put yourself up by your bootstraps, Stephanie. Something like this. Okay, Stephanie. Fucking figure it out, Stephanie. So here I am being like, I'm on the mic, talking about, wow, I'm such a sad girl. Wow, there's so much hurt and pain around me. Wow, am I ever going to feel any better without parents? And the answer is this. You'll feel a little better, but it's going to stay sad. So on my sad day, when it was my mom's birthday, Emma sent me a sensitive fern. And it's the cutest thing I've ever fucking seen. And did I almost kill it because I didn't water it for 2 days? Yes. Apparently the sensitive fern needs a lot of attention, which, okay, I get that. So what it does, though, if you water it correctly and if it's doing healthy, it is healthy, which it literally is. You touch its little leaves and it curls up on itself. What's so crazy, though, and I was doing it this morning is, and I shouldn't be touching it because I need to just leave it alone. Stop poking the sensitive fern, Stephanie. But I was doing it this morning and it's doing so much healthier since I saved it. And by saved it, I mean I literally just took basic care of it. And when one little leaf goes like this, like goes together, it touches the other leaves and then the other leaves start to go together. And then it's like this like chain effect. It's so fucking cute. And then it's like, ooh, ooh. And then the leaves are like, ooh, I don't want to touch you. No, I don't want you to touch me. I don't want you to touch me. And I'm just like, this is the cutest thing I've ever. Is that not the cutest gift ever? Emma is the sweetest. I love her so much. And it's just like, what the heck? You sent me this on a sad day? Now I get to have it for my whole month of June and I feel loved. And I'm like, that's a sensitive fern? What? I feel really lucky about that. Okay, can we talk about 90 Day Fiancé? Because let's pivot away from the sad girl business. Thank you. Okay, I've never watched 90 Day, but I understand the concept. And I'm clocked in this season because my favesy podcaster, Carly Aquilino, we talk about her all the time, she started talking about 90 Day. And she told me, she's telling me on her podcast with global reach. She's talking to me, right? Yeah. She's telling me on her podcast, hey, Stephanie, there's this person on 90 Day Fiancé and he's like pretending that he wants to be in this relationship with this woman, but really he just wants to be a star in Hollywood. And I was like interested by that. I was like, oh my God, I love seeing a liar on screen. I love a liar. Honestly, probably because I'm historically a liar. So I love a liar. I'm like, lie. Let me watch it play out. Let me see how this unfolds. I like, show it to me. I'm watching. I'm clocked in. So I turn on the first episode of this most recent season and, okay, I'm never going to turn it back off. Okay, I'm never turning this off. Like, this is the most interesting show I've ever seen in my life, and everybody's a liar, which I love. Like, everyone. And the most recent season is so... Okay, I'm going to tell you my favorite character. She's a real person, but in the show, she's also a character. The girl with OCD... I never was probably talking so much shit about her online, and I don't even look because I don't want you guys to come for my girl. She's really my favorite person on the show. I really see myself in her. And if you guys don't watch 90 Day, I'm going to explain just a smidgy, just this one girl. She says she is diagnosed with OCD. It's very clear she has OCD. And she drinks way too much. And then when she drinks, she makes out with a bunch of people. So as you can imagine, this is very much so negatively impacting her relationship with this man that just moved here from the UK to be with her, right? He wants to get married with her. He like shows up from the UK. She doesn't have an apartment for them to stay in. She has no furniture and she won't stop making out with her friends. And okay, this is the one thing that Carly was saying, which I get. She was like, I don't know that OCD makes you make out with people. And it's like, okay, I hear what people are saying, but I do see the ways in which her OCD impacts her. Like, no, OCD doesn't make you make out with people, but OCD does make you drink too much. you know, and OCD does make you feel very mentally exhausted. So sometimes you are kind of looking for like a thrill in ways in which you shouldn't be looking for a thrill, like making out with strangers. Like I as a therapist and I as a person who's diagnosed with OCD definitely see the connections, but I get why the world would be like, OCD doesn't make you kiss people, you know? But then in my mind, I'm like, but kinda, I see what she's saying. Like, this girl's obviously really struggling with her OCD. And I honestly, can I just say one thing that's like not therapeutic in any way? I love the fact that she doesn't talk about her about her relationship with alcohol at all. Like, she just like shamelessly drinks so fucking much that it leads her to making out with people. And she's just like, it must be my OCD. And like, what? We're like 6 episodes in, and not once has she mentioned her drinking. Not once. It just kind of reminds me of me, you know, like obviously struggling. Anybody that on the outside could see exactly what's going on here. But she's just like, no, I think it's just my mental health disorder. Has nothing to do with like my lifestyle. And I'm like, I mean, I just really relate to her in that. She's just very like, she's not in denial, but she's like, because I believe that people that struggle with substances like that, they always know, you know. I don't even really believe in like denial that much. It's like, yes, some people yes, there's a spectrum of denial. I'm not trying to argue that denial doesn't exist, but I'm trying to say, like, I think when a lot of people get coined as being in denial, that's just what you think from how they're operating, and that's just how they want you to think, you know. They want you to think, oh yeah, I'm just like not looking at it. But really, when the cameras are down and the lights are off, I guarantee she thinks about, maybe I shouldn't be drinking so many IPAs. And maybe I'm just projecting, maybe, because I really see myself in this chick. Like, I'm not going to get into the full reason as to why, but like, I've been in these situations before, like not to that extent, but like, I've been in these situations before where like there's clearly an issue, but I'm just like, I mean, it must be everything else going on. It has nothing to do with the fact that I had like 9 drinks tonight, you know? Like, I totally see her in that. So I don't think she's in denial, but I think the fact that she just avoids it is actually quite funny. She's also so good for TV because she's so interesting. Like, to have someone moving from the UK and then not even have an apartment, it's just like, honestly, I like her because she's so honest and real. You can tell she's not putting on a front. Like, she really is acting like this. Like, this is exactly how she believes her life should look, feel, and be. And this is just the way she is. And I kind of feel like I understand her in that. I watched the episode yesterday where the newest one, and they were at the bar, and she was like, I'm having OCD. Can you please take my phone and like destroy it? And that was also so relatable to me. My OCD is really bad with my phone. Like, it's just like a lot of like obsession thoughts for me. Like, where I can't stop looping, and I actually like historically have had compulsions to like check social media when I'm not in a healthy space, or check social media for specific, like, I don't know, look up my ex's girlfriend, knowing that they're together, knowing that this is going to hurt me, but I do it anyway. Like, that type of compulsionary behavior is definitely like rooted in my OCD. So phones are a scary place for someone with OCD because they have this feeling of like total lack of control. Well, the sickness is like my mind and my body tells me what to do, but I can't stop it. So you just feel like you're just like a victim of your behavior, and it just sucks. And I just feel like it's like very real. So I love that girl. What's her name? I'm so bad with names on TV. Katie? Maybe? What's her man's name? I forget his name. He is very nice. That's all I have to say about him. He seems very patient. He seems kind. And yeah, 90 Days nuts. And then the guy that wants to be in Hollywood, he's a liar. That's what I have to say about that. He said, am I going to get in trouble because this is like rooted in his religion? I'm just going to say from my perspective what it seems like. He says religiously he doesn't have sex before marriage. But what I see with my own eyes is this man is lying about not having sex before marriage, and it's an excuse to not have sex with his wife, who he's not attracted to, because he's here because he wants to be famous in Hollywood. That's my take on that situation. Like, no part of me feels that he's being honest. And then that Shay guy that's with that one woman that's so kind, that Shay guy that keeps cheating. I think 90 Day is interesting because everybody is lying. There's so many cheaters on there. And I kind of find that fascinating. I like to watch liars. I like to watch how they lie. And to answer everyone's question around why people do stuff like that, everyone is different. From my own perspective, what I think is happening here is like, it's a thrill. You know, like there is this level of like mental illness where you are so detached from your own reality that you struggle to feel your feelings. So you kind of just feel like a shell of a human being. And if you feel like a shell of a human, to lie is a way to really get a really quick fix of emotion. You know, if anything, it's a thrill, right? You get away with it. So that's like my answer to that question around like, how do people lie like this, like pathologically? It becomes, it's a really bad habit, honestly. It's a maladaptive coping skill and it helps people feel things. It also gives a feeling of power where you're, Pups. Big seeping. It also gives a feeling of power where you're like, you can see his foot. He's literally so cute. A feeling of power where like, if you believe me, then I won, you know? It's sick. I agree. I feel like I could write, like, I was thinking about this the other day because, like, I used to lie so much to people that, like, always wonder about, like, addicts or people that don't understand behaviors like lying or cheating. Everyone's always like, we totally don't get it. But I can speak from the middle. I get it, you know, as someone who's done things that involve lying. I've never lied. Lying is a spectrum, right? Like, but every human has an ability to lie. My lying was not nearly as far on the spectrum of anything that happens on TV, but I'd be lying, you know? I was an addict for I don't know, 29 years before I even said one thing about it, you know? Like, stuff like that. I mean, I'm not sure I said anything about it. My friends that I was, like, using with, we talked about it, you know? Like, how much longer type shit. But to everyone outside of that circle, it never was talked about. So I lived a life for a very long time that was dishonest, that was not rooted in truthfulness. And I do think it's kind of interesting that I do have that view. So am I going to get judged for this? Yeah, I mean, that's probably why people don't talk about, like, why they lied. That's fine. You can judge that. Like, wow, and she's a therapist? Yeah, guys, I'm a liar and a therapist. Isn't that something? Nuts. Okay. Wait, I have to ask you guys a question. Wait, actually, I want to say one thing. Speaking of just like being like so numb, I watched Faces of Death recently, which is like a newer horror movie. And I felt like this is so insane that this is on a movie. You know, a lot of our content these days is extremely dark, sad, and sick. Like, we're just kind of numb to it, I think, as a society, or we're getting more numb to it. Because there's a lot of sad shit on all of these streaming services. There's a lot of sad, dark shit on the internet. And I was watching Faces of Death, and literally what that movie is about is a person who's going through social media videos and just like flagging and deleting the ones that are outside of the guidelines, and you're kind of just like watching videos of people dying, and they're fake because it's a movie, but they look really real. And I was watching it thinking, like, what is this doing to my psyche? You know, like, there's people that are like getting hit by cars, there's people that are like being stabbed, there's like so much going on, like, just in. And then I'm like, that's people's jobs, you know, to like go through all these videos. And then the things that she was sending through, like, that's good to go. We're pretty like dark and insane, but I'm like, that's really how the internet do, you know? That's really how it be these days. Like, you can watch really insane shit online and on fucking TV. And I'm watching Faces of Death, which is like a fairly popular new horror movie. And it's like, everyone that watched this movie saw what I'm seeing right now. This is a lot, guys. And then I fell asleep in the middle of it. Talk about being numb. I was like 40 minutes in, and I was like literally so relaxed on the couch, and I was like, I could literally fall asleep right now. Closed my eyes, and I slept through like 25 minutes of it, and then I got up and went to bed. Like, the next day, I turned it back on and rewound it a little bit to before I fell asleep, and the scenes that I was sleeping during, I was like, Stephanie, are you okay? Like, are you good, girl? Like, you were sleeping during this? Like, the burglars are in the house, Stephanie. And I'm like this. Like, they're in the fucking house. house, like the time where you be like the most tense, like, oh my God, what's going to happen in this movie? I'm passed out sleeping because I'm just like, it's just another day. It's just a freaking Tuesday. Like, I really feel like I'm getting really numb to it all. What do you guys think about that? Can someone say something about this? This is where a co-host would be nice. Bubs? Bubs, do you feel that you're getting numb from the internet and from our television streaming services? He said he doesn't care, Samantha. What? Bubsy, you don't care at all? No, he doesn't. So let's switch with me. Can I give myself a second to just, this is how I'll close. This is in final closing. I feel very 34 lately, and it's not a bad thing. It feels good to be like, wow, I definitely feel like an adult. Like my child, not to make this sad, but like my childhood is like very much so over. Like my young adult life, I mean, really when I felt that it was the most over was when my mom died, because then both my parents were gone and I was like, you're an adult, girl, you're grown. So potentially this has something to do with that. But I mean, my mom's been dead for almost 5 years. So I feel like I'm really just hitting this like era where I'm like, okay, you're older than other people. And certain things will happen in society where I really feel it. Here's my most recent. What are invisible text messages? What are invisible messages? I don't know how to send one. I've never received one, yet I hear nothing but discourse online about them. So then I start thinking, how old am I to be like, what is this? Is this like a societal shift that I'm unaware of? I'm just not a part of? What's an invisible message? And then I'm like, okay, if you're just like sending tea, is that when you have to send an invisible message? How hot does the tea have to be for it to have to go to you invisible and then disappear? And then I don't really talk that much shit, you know? Like I'm not real, but then I do be talking shit. And then I'm like, so is it people being worried about their friends screenshotting them? But then why would you screenshot your friend? But then I'm like, oh, it's if somebody reads over your shoulder. But then I'm like, why are we reading over each other's shoulders? Like, to me, invisible messages don't really make sense. I can't imagine a time where I'm like, oh yeah, this should go invisible style. And then I'm like, am I just being 34? Am I not understanding why the kids these days are sending invisible messages? And really feeling disconnected from society in that way. I had this thought the other day, and I tell Emma, because Emma is Gen Z, and I tell her she's my Gen Z correspondent. I stole that from Giggly Squad because they say that Grace is their Gen Z correspondent, which I think is so fucking funny, because we all millennials, I believe, need a Gen Z correspondent. We just need to make sure, just so we can stay cool, you know, just so we can stay on top of it, stay cool, stay informed. And Emma is my Gen Z correspondent. So I needed to ask Emma this question about the invisible messages, but I was like, first I'll bring it to the pod and see if anyone has anything to say. Also, for the millennials in the chat, are you guys also feeling a shift? Is this too woo-woo to end it on? I'm going to be able to tell you guys really transparently how I feel. I feel like I just entered the second half. It's weird. It's so weird. And I told you guys, I made a joke the other day on the podcast where I was like, if I lived as long as either one of my parents, my life would already be halfway over. So I don't know if that's this. Like, I don't know if it's because I kind of started the mindset and now my brain is just like completing that thought, you know, or if it's like truly like a shift happening in the universe. Stay with me. Like, is there something going on? If anyone else is a millennial, did anyone else go through like a recent shift where you feel like, okay, now I'm in the second half? Like, it feels like I'm in like third quarter, you know, like I'm not like, am I middle-aged? 34? I mean, I don't feel middle-aged per se, but I do feel like I'm in the middle. Like, I feel like this chapter of my life is going to be totally different. I think a lot of my 20s and before my 20s was like plot building. You know, it was like live your life, experience everything, travel a lot, laugh a lot, fuck around, find out, do the things that you feel like you want to do, dude. Like, experience the world and see what's out there. Get all of the lore. It's all for the plot vibes. Like, that's exactly how I was living. Like, this just came to my mind, so I'm just going to say it. One time I went to the Jonas Brothers concert and I flashed Kevin Jonas and security kicked me out. That story's way longer for another time if you guys want to hear it. But essentially, security kicked me out. And, They walked me out, and I remember thinking as I was standing in the rain outside, separated from my group, being like, why'd you do all that? My first thought was like, you did it for the plot. That's funny as fuck. And I was in the front row. Yes, I was. And did Kevin Jonas see my tits? 100% he did. And she's a therapist. Ah! So when I think about like the first half, hold on, pause for the hot garbage man. Can we talk about like an efficient service? Garbage trucks are so efficient. They're like at your house for like 2 fucking seconds. I'm like, imagine if whoever created the structure that is the garbage waste management got their eyes on the mental health industry. I wonder if things would change, you know? Like that is an effective ass workflow. That's what I have to say about that. Maybe that's what I also find so hot. You guys know I love a system that works. Oh my God, do I love a system that fucking works. A system, a workflow that just makes motherfucking sense. Let me push it a little further. An intuitive system that expects your needs and then just like shows up for you and is like, and then here's this. Like the opposite of how every single thing happens in the mental health industry. Those portals are anything but intuitive. You know what I mean? It's just like, I just want a workflow that works, similar to waste management. Okay, like whoever created waste management, could you get some eyes on the mental health industry? Thank you so fucking much. Okay, where's it going? Anyway. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, being in the second half. Oh yeah, the Jonas Brothers concert. So yeah, the first half was do it for the plot. You know, it was do it for the plot. And I feel like I'm just out of that era now, and it feels good. You know, I was journaling actually about this morning, and I was like, you know, I know this is woo woo, and I know, and maybe I'm just like making it up, but my intuition is telling me like you're in your second half. Like my intuition is telling me like now's the time to like let all of the things you've learned, like let it breathe. You know, like let the concepts breathe, let the experiences be heard, let all your knowledge that you have gained over all of this time, that's just like not even to just survive. Like I have that knowledge of like how I survived, but I also have the knowledge now of like, here's how you like settle into this new era and expand in this era. I don't know what I'm expanding to, but you guys are going to hear it week by week. And I just feel like I have so much to say. Part of me feels like it's because I'm in my second half, and now I'm like, okay, I do feel like I have enough thoughts and feelings to be able to project that onto the world. Like I actually have so many ideas. I have so many stories to tell. I've done so much. Like I really think one day it's going to be like, what inspired you to start the podcast? And it's like, well, really the podcast just became me documenting my second half. You know, here's what happened after I overdosed. Here's what happened after I struggled with drugs for most of my life. Here's what happened after my dad died. Here's what happened after my mom died. Here's what happened when I started taking my mental health more seriously. Here's what happened after my diagnosis. You know, I do think, especially with mental health, it's really common to be like diagnosed, then what? You know, well, it's like, okay, I'm going to show you. I'm technically dual diagnosed, you know, previously addicted to opiates in recovery and OCD. Those are 2 diagnoses that's a mentally ill, traumatized little child, you know? Like I do have so much I'm up against in terms of barriers, but I also think that I've done a really good job of figuring out how to navigate. So I think the podcast is really that. And the second half of my life is definitely going to be that. It's going to be like focusing on like, okay, now that you know so much, what do you want to do with that? You know? And then I tell myself, like, I hope you still get to gain stories. Because part of me feels like I'm just like home a lot now, you know, like I'm not doing the things I used to do because I used to just do so much. But I think this is like the necessary break I needed to give my mind and my body to like not do it for the plot for a second, because the plot is thick. Okay, like the plot is thick. Like we have stories for days. You have experiences for days. You've been through so much. Now's the time to kind of like talk about it. And I do wonder if there's like any other millennials that are listening or that you're around a similar age as me. Is this my life experience that has made me feel this way, that like now I want to share in this way? Or is it just like my age, you know? Like, is this just getting into our 30s? Because maybe. Like I was listening to Giggly the other day and they were like, I feel like between 30 to 33 is like still in your 20s. But once you're 34, you're 30. Like that is the most accurate shit. When they said that, I was like, oh my God, maybe it's not just me. Because that's exactly how I feel. Like the minute I turned 34, I was like, and we're an adult. and we pay taxes. Yep. What's refinancing? Like, it's just, it's like this time of my life where I'm like, okay, yeah, you know enough to now speak up a lot about a lot of this, you know? And I do believe that I'll be able to help younger generations possibly, and my own generation move through, because if you guys haven't gone through a lot of life changes, not to scare you, but it's going to happen, you know, like the life changes that I've experienced, even just in my 20s and in these 34 years, they're going to happen to other people too. Like closing a business, you know, I believe that's relatable. Grief, super relatable. Mental health conditions, super relatable. Like, I think in ways in which I could really, I mean, I guess it doesn't even impact generationally. It's just like in general. My hope is that I can help people feel more connected in all of these changes and transitions, because it's hard for me too, guys, you know? But at the end of the day, it's like, at least I'm doing it in like beautiful red eyeshadow, and like really everything's fine in this moment. Bubs is healthy, happy. I'm technically healthy and happy moment by moment. And I have some things to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Happy fucking Wednesday. I have therapy tomorrow, so I'm sure I'm going to have good things to share on Friday, or terrible things to share on Friday, depending on how therapy goes. What am I going to talk about? I told you guys I'm going to get better about preparing this. Honestly, I might talk about this, because part of me is like, am I just trying to like, I always try to logically answer so many questions and just be like, oh, because I'm feeling like this because of this. But I'm trying to just like lean more into my spirituality about it all, you know, just go with like my intuitive guide. If my intuitive guide is like, you're 34, it's time to start acting different and shifting how your life looks, then I'm down, you know, but like, what do I need to do? And like, why don't I have a job yet? And like, why do I keep doing so bad in my interviews? And why I'm always embarrassed? And why am I angry at the mental health system? Why this and why that? Why this and why that?